Hi, I'm Linda Jeng, Head of Global Web3 Strategy at the Crypto Council for Innovation. CCI is the premier global alliance advocating for inclusive regulation. We have teams in the US, EU, UK, and Hong Kong. I am also a visiting scholar on financial technology at Georgetown Law's IIEL. I was a financial regulator for 15 years, including time at the US Treasury, the Fed, the SEC, and the Financial Stability Board, before working at a DeFi payments startup and other early venture firms. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I will walk you through the main principles of our white paper on how DeFi can best be regulated. In this presentation, we debunk the myth that DeFi cannot be regulated. We also debunk the myth that DeFi risks are the same as risks in traditional finance. In this presentation, we will walk you through why DeFi risks are different from TradFi risks and thus requires a new regulatory approach. Where along the digital tech stack regulation can best be applied, and key policy recommendations for implementing this new approach. Traditional financial regulation is based on regulating central intermediaries. Central intermediaries provide legal hooks for regulation, usually via licenses or charters. As you can see here, crypto-focused regulatory policies have been aimed at central intermediaries, including banks, other financial institutions, crypto exchanges, and crypto service providers. For those who are new to crypto concepts, decentralized finance, or DeFi, are financial services and products that are directly accessible to users by leveraging blockchain technologies and removing the middlemen of financial institutions. DeFi is a nascent but fast-growing industry that is now attracting the attention of global policymakers. In September, the International Organization of Securities Commissions, IOSCO, proposed DeFi policy recommendations for public consultation. The G20's Financial Stability Board plans to propose policy recommendations for DeFi next year. And the European Commission is drafting a DeFi report that will feed into the next version of the EU MiCA legislation. All of them are grappling with the same challenge. How do you regulate activities that are decentralized and do not have a central intermediary? To help policymakers, we at CCI have analyzed the risks posed by DeFi services and observed that the service may be similar, but the risks can be fundamentally different. Let's examine lending, for example. In traditional finance, the main risk in lending is counterparty credit risk, while in DeFi lending, over-collateralization requirements significantly mitigate this specific risk. But DeFi lending has other types of risks, particularly operational ones, such as smart contract cybersecurity vulnerabilities. Given that the service may be the same in DeFi, but the risks can be fundamentally different in nature, we took the old TradFi regulation principle, same activity, same risk, same regulation, and updated it for DeFi. The activity may be the same, but the implementation is different, so the risk is different, and thus different regulation is required to achieve the same regulatory outcome of safety and soundness, financial stability, and consumer protection. Guided by this updated principle, we analyze the tech stack and identify that regulation should apply at the app layer. Businesses operating apps are not decentralized, and they choose which DeFi protocols to plug into. Therefore, regulation and customer liability requirements should apply to app operating businesses. With regulation applying at the app operating business layer, we look at how we can encourage DeFi protocols to become public digital infrastructure that serve the public good, like the internet. We identify 5 necessary key features that must be met before a public good protocol can be exempt from regulation. The public good protocol must be decentralized, open source, autonomous, standardized, and non-discriminatory. To align the incentives between regulators and industry, we put forward 3 policy recommendations. The first is a mandatory disclosure regime for app operating businesses. As applicable, there are 4 broad types of disclosures: general software, token, financial, and automation disclosures. The second recommendation is to stand up an independent certification regime organization. An ICRO would certify DeFi protocols that meet the 5 key public good protocol features, along with any additional criteria and best practices, including protocol disclosure requirements and security code audits. The ICRO also can decertify or decide not to renew. It is important to note that the ICRO concept is not a traditional self-regulatory organization under U.S. securities and commodities law, but it could grow into one overseen by regulators over time. The third policy recommendation is a regulator-operated safe harbor for nascent DeFi protocols to grow into decentralized protocols. Most protocols are not decentralized when they are first launched and need time to evolve. As you can see, there are 3 pathways for DeFi protocols to evolve. Only the few protocols that decentralize and meet the additional 4 features can become public good protocols and be eligible for ICRO certification. This carrots-based approach would help align the regulatory and economic incentives of regulators and industry to foster the growth and resilience of DeFi protocols as public digital infrastructure that serves the public good, mitigate the specific risks of DeFi, and protect consumers and investors. Thank you for listening to our presentation. You can reach me at linda@cryptocouncil.org.